Hi everyone, today I thought I'd start our video off just showing you what the final result is. This is a Shenandoah wood burning stove built sometime in the early to mid 70s, and it's not just going to be a stove, but I am going to do some adaptations to it. So those of you who are loyal rocket stove and rocket mass heater fans, fear not, I have not gone over to the dark side of just the standard wood burning stoves. But for now, this is a regular stove just up and running. The reason why I got this stove is because it has a bimetal thermostat built into the door, so it doesn't need any electricity to regulate its temperature. And it has a really nice large burning box inside of it, so it will come in handy for some of the adaptations that I'm going to do. So what the inside of it looks like, it burns quite well. And I'm gonna get away from this because it's way too hot for me to sit next to it for very long. So here is the video on how it was installed.
I've been looking for this particular model stove for a while and finally found one on Craigslist. The biggest trick about acquiring it was getting 4 people to lift it into the truck. Putting it inside the greenhouse was far easier. Most modern wood stoves can be around 6 inches to a wall, but this old one doesn't meet the modern specs, so 36 inches is a safe distance. Once I determined a good location, I used a plumb bob to mark on the ceiling down to where the stovepipe exits the stove. I went with a straight run through the chimney instead of venting through the sidewall, so there are no elbows to deal with while cleaning the chimney. I'm using a double-walled chimney. It requires 2-inch clearance to any combustible materials, so it goes right between 2 rafters. I really dislike cutting holes for the roof. It's not something you want to make a mistake doing. The scrap wood that came off the ceiling will have one more use and provide a couple of minutes of heat in the rocket mass heater. The spray and foam doesn't come out too easily, so we'll have to work on an alternate removal solution. At each corner of the ceiling, I drilled a hole right through everything to the outside. Again, it's unnerving piercing a hole through the roof. It's time to leave the warmth of the greenhouse and finish the chimney work. We had a light snow last night, which makes it easy to find the holes through the roof. These mark each corner, so I can just cut right through the shingles and roof sheathing, making a nice square hole in the roof. My alternate method for removing the foam insulation is quite effective. Once there was a huge hole in the roof, it was quite impressive to feel the rush of warm air come through it. The bracket to support the chimney and the flashing will need to go under the shingles. Unfortunately, it's too cold, so they are brittle and crack. Once the chimney support is in place, it is anchored into the rafters, and then it can be adjusted for plumb and locked into place. The chimney kit comes with a special roof flashing that is used to prevent water from leaking in. Because of the damage to the brittle shingles, I placed some ice barrier roofing material in this area as a temporary patch, and in the spring I'll replace all the damaged material. The chimney rises 6 feet out of the roof, so it is compliant to building code. Each section twists together and then uses a locking band to hold the sections together. Because of the chimney height, a cross brace is needed to prevent it from bending over in a storm. 2 rods run from a clamp on the chimney and anchor into the roof. I didn't want to damage the shingles anymore, so I used the red neck bracket holder until it can be anchored properly in the spring. A collar is needed near the base to deflect water and is sealed to the chimney with silicone. The last piece of the chimney is to install a cap, which helps to minimize rain from getting down into the chimney. Back inside, where the chimney comes through, water is already starting to condense on the flashing, so I was concerned about future rotting. I added some rock wool insulation in the area. Hopefully this will prevent some of the condensation. To clean up the roof section, a faceplate is added. The interior stovepipe is slightly different from the chimney sections and requires only an 8-inch clearance. This also twists into place and locks with a locking band. The rest of the kit came with a couple of collars to clean up the connections. It's not really needed in the greenhouse, but does add a nice finishing touch. The last section of stovepipe is a telescoping section, which expands to the right length and is screwed into the other section. Once it's all set, a couple of shoves of the stove moves it into its final location to ensure the stovepipe is nice and plumb. It's all set for a test burn, and I split up some kindling and fire it up. It doesn't take long to get going and up to temperature. This straight run for the chimney has a strong draft, so I am losing a lot of heat through it, but I have some additional plans for this stove to have it run more efficiently. One important feature is to find the manliest metal ash can you can get your hands on. It really adds a touch of class to the greenhouse.
So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel to get more updates about this stove, and we'll see you soon. I think I burned all the hairs off my arm.